What is going on, everybody? The real Sherif M here, aka Manganas Steel, and we are continuing with my designer sort of spotlight video where I talk about my little Enrique Pena collection here. So if you guys haven't seen it, I did a previous video about the Pena Lanny's clip flipper right here, this guy. And then I did a video on the Pena Mula, which is this guy right here. Today, in this video, we're going to be talking about the Lanny's clip front flipper. This guy right here, which I have in natural micarta, M390 blade, bolster lock, titanium pocket clip. Goodness, man. This thing is amazing. So, a little background about me, actually, is I typically am not a huge slip joint guy. But there is one pattern that just absolutely does it for me, and that's the Lanny's clip. I am a retarded fan of the Lanny's clip, and I can't explain to you why. Something about it just speaks to me and has every element that I look for in a knife, and it's really hard to design something, in my opinion, that is much better than it for like an everyday knife. You have a nice flat section here, you have a nice little bit amount of belly, you got a nice fine clip point for piercing. You know, you can get a nice forefinger grip on it. You can choke up on it. You can use the clip point here to get your finger in for doing detail work. There's so much about the Lanny's clip as a knife design that is done exceedingly well. And once I saw that Pena was going to be doing a front flipper bolster lock version, and I'm a huge bolster lock guy as well. I just had to have this, and this is one of the treasured knives in my collection, to be 100% honest with you. I do use it, I do carry it, I do think it's phenomenal. But again, kind of without having to belabor the point, like most of the Pena stuff, actually all of the Pena stuff, I'll never get rid of, just because it's Pena, and I love almost everything he does, you know? So the Lanny's clip, for me, is just one of the ultimate EDC knife designs of all time. And I'm not the only one who feels that way. It's a very, very popular pattern for a reason, and not just its looks. It's a very effective design. And with the front flipper from Pena, it's a nice size. It's, I believe, a little bit over 3 inches. Let's see here. Let's approximate it. No, it's, yeah, like maybe 3.1 inches overall blade length. The cutting edge total length is probably, yeah, right at about 3 inches, I want to say, or like 2.9. So it's not a huge knife, which, as a guy, as I've said before in every video, with extra large to double extra large hands, it's kind of surprising for me to appreciate a knife design that's under like 3 inches. But I really do appreciate the Lanny's clip. It is, if you hold it in the traditional position, it is a true like 3-finger knife for me. I can get 4 fingers on it. Pardon me. If I choke up on it like this, it becomes a 4-finger knife. But really the most comfortable position, excuse me, Trapper, I keep on knocking you around. In the most comfortable traditional position, it is a 3-finger knife design for me. It is, man, I'm kind of at a loss for what to say about this other than calling it like an ultimate EDC knife design. Really, my only criticism ever of any of these sort of patterns and styles is like I do a fair amount of piercing, which is what made this so appealing, because this is a Lanny's clip inspired flipper, and I do get a little bit of a guard here on my index finger. So for piercing tasks, you know, I don't have the fear that my finger is going to run up on the blade as much as, you know, something like this. But with this being a 3-finger knife, my pinky kind of wraps around the back and prevents that from happening. You know, it's going to prevent my hand sliding forward, and it gives me a bit of that reinforcement in a piercing task. So I really don't worry about it too much when I use this knife. Aside from that, typical RUCKUS construction, beautiful, super well executed. RUCKUS is really like the pinnacle of knife manufacturing. The micarta is perfect, super nice, and has aged and taken on weathering really well. My only complaint, honestly, is I wish they did a version with burlap micarta, because I'm a huge fan of burlap micarta, and that would have paired up nicely with my trapper, to be honest. As far as functional elements of the design are concerned, the front flipper is failure proof. I mean, really, like, there's no way to fail this approach to front flippers, and I really appreciate it. You know, when you tend to do designs like this, where you just have like a point sticking out, it can give you some failure, but it can also give you like a hot spot in your thumb. This style of just having a nice little extension here really ensures a very solid front flip every single time that very few people can fail, you know, if I'm 100% honest with you. And I have not handed this to many people, but the few that I have had no problem using it. What else can I talk about? The blade here is hollow ground, which is really nice. The blade stock thickness is 0.128, or in millimeters, I always got to double check, is right about, yeah, 3¼ millimeters thick. And that hollow grind is really nice. I'm always a huge fan of a hollow grind, personally. And it just makes this thing slice like you wouldn't believe, which is perfect. It's not meant to be a hard use knife. It's not meant to be like a heavy hitter. So really, to optimize the design and the geometry for like doing a hollow and slicing performance, I think was a great move. Let me see something just for my own designerly curiosity. How tall is the bevel here? Oh wow, that's actually pretty short. 16 millimeters, or 0.63 inches is fairly short, but given the thinness of the blade, it kind of makes sense why the performance of this hollow is so nice. So yeah, guys, like, I don't know what else to really tell you that you can't get from other people's videos. I'm sure there are plenty of them on YouTube. And I wanted to talk about this really as more of a designer of a knife. This is one of those that even, you know, back in the day, like Tony Bowes, who came up with the original design of the Lanny's clip, I think he just knocked it out of the park, and it shows why he was such a revered knife designer, and I feel Pena has done this absolute justice, to be honest. I don't think you can get too much better than a Pena Lanny's clip. And I know there are several guys out there who are making them as customs, and including Enrique. But Enrique's attention to detail and consideration is just something that does it for me every time. Hence my love for him and my collection here of his stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed that look and a knife designer's perspective on the Lanny's clip. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And take care of yourselves. I love you guys. Appreciate the views. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.